I did an evening walk today for Vlogtober number 2, the second day, October 2nd, of course. And I like doing evening walks, although it is getting a little more difficult to do them this time of the year because it's getting colder and it gets darker a lot sooner. But I really enjoy going in the evening, especially when people have their Halloween decorations up. And I thought maybe I would kind of make a little habit of trying to capture some footage of Halloween decorations around the neighborhood because people around here really go all out, and not everybody's got their stuff out yet, but hopefully more and more will decorate and I'll be able to share that with you. I know not everybody likes a montage like this, but honestly, I'm kind of doing this part for me because I don't know, because I like it. So hopefully you don't think it's too boring, but you know, like I said, maybe as more and more people put out their fancy decorations, it will become more interesting to see how the neighborhood kind of lights up for the holidays. They always really go all out for Christmas too, but usually Halloween is pretty fantastic. This is my favorite one. Surprisingly, it's kind of plain, but for some reason it reminded me of New Orleans. I like the pink and green. Hello there, everybody. So, we're just going to do a little quick sit down tonight for the vlog because it is after midnight and I still haven't got it posted. I've got part of it edited, so that's ready to go, but I just want to do like a little sitting and chatting moment, I guess you could say. I actually had kind of a rough day and I didn't get to do the things that I had planned on doing today, which is pretty typical. I guess that happens a lot. Thank you guys for watching my 2 o'clock in the morning vlog from last night that I didn't promote or warn anybody about. I think it's all the way up to like 20 views now. But to those of you who did watch it and enjoy it, thank you for watching it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You can probably hear there's a cat in the background yelling for attention. Because there's no one in there to give him attention, so he's just gonna stand there and scream until somebody comes and pets him. They're just such temperamental little creatures, you know? I have this thing where in the fall, and I think a lot of people probably do this, I like to read a certain type of book in the fall. And I love how you make a memory of that, you know? And so then anytime you think of that book, you think of like that time of the year and you think of all of like your memories from that time of the year. I don't know if anybody else does that. Maybe, probably. I totally do that. And so I wanted to pick out a couple of books that I think if you're looking for something spooky to read this time of the year, I think these would be perfectly suited to the beginning of October. The first one, and I don't know if I've talked about these like in any of the book videos that I made at the beginning of the year, which by the way, I'm gonna have to make some more of those because those were super fun. I don't know if you guys liked them, but this book, make sure you can see it. So this is a really cool book. It's kind of like, actually T. Kingfisher has another one that is very similar to this one. What was it called? I'll try to put it on the screen because I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but I read it too. It was pretty good. This one, I thought I would like this one more than I did, but I still liked it, and it's got that vibe, you know, that creepy fall, cool, chilly nights, spooky bare trees and rattly leaves kind of feeling. I don't remember what time of the year the story takes place, but for some reason it just feels like a fall book to me. Another one, I actually read this one in the winter, but I feel like this one's a really good fall book. And this is a beautiful copy of this book too, by the way. This is a really pretty copy. It reminds me of like a Bible. I think it's supposed to kind of look like a Bible a little bit. And it's got like, I don't know if you can, gold. It's a really pretty copy of Mr. Be Gone. I really wanted this particular copy because I thought it was the prettiest one out of all of them. Mr. Be Gone, I think, is not everybody's cup of tea. But I think, like, for me, this is one of the coolest, most unique books that I've read in a while. And I think I read this one a year or so ago. Maybe it was 2020. I feel like maybe in the winter of 2020 or early 2021. It's Clive Barker, of course, my favorite. And Mr. Be Gone is about a demon. It's from the point of view of a demon, and the demon tells you his story. And there's like kind of this cool little quirk that he has, even from the very first page of the book. He's telling you to burn the book. Like the first line of it says, burn this book. Go on, quickly, while there's still time, burn it. Don't look at another word. Did you hear me? Not one more word. And he just goes on, trying to intimidate you into burning the book. And this book, it takes place in a interesting time period that I normally don't read in. I don't read in that category, so it was interesting for me to read something that takes place like, hundreds of years ago for the most part. It kind of jumps back and forth in time. But so my next one is this book. I would also say Survivor Song. If you've already read this Paul Tremblay book, I would go for Survivor Song next, or instead, rather. But this is like a perfect fall book, honestly. Head Full of Ghosts is one of the scariest books I've ever read, and I think it's really difficult for a book to be genuinely scary. But it was actually scary, and there were times where I would have to stop reading it in the middle of the night in the dark because it was just too much, and it was just making me nervous. Definitely a great book, though. And my number one recommendation for this time of the year would be this one. And honestly, I wouldn't read this book any time of the year besides the fall. I mean, you just got to read it in the fall. This book is an experience. I know a lot of people have crap to say about this book, but honestly, like, if you're from the South and you're not like a younger person, like if you grew up, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, like you're going to get it. Like it's going to hit different for you than I think it does for younger people. I think younger people don't care as much for this book. This is definitely a book for a little bit of an older audience. Excellent book. My God, I may just reread it. I'm reading so many books at once. I can't read them fast enough. I'm a slow reader. And that's the only thing keeping me from being able to read all the books in the world before I someday die. Here's a few honorable mentions. I would definitely recommend, if you haven't read Grady Hendrix's My Best Friend's Exorcism, that would be a good one for this time of the year. Exquisite Corpse by Poppy Z. Bright. I love that book. The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher was the one I was talking about earlier. And The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. I would definitely put those on the October/fall/cold weather TBR, because I think those would be great books for this time of the year if you're looking for something new and spooky to read. Especially The Pallbearers Club, definitely. I feel like it... I read it in the summer, but I feel like it'd be a great book for this time of the year. So, a couple more things I want to talk about. A lot of people have been emailing me and telling me their paranormal stories from, all Kentucky related, because I'm pretty much just focusing on Kentucky paranormal stuff with my TikTok videos. Not exclusively, but for the most part, it's just Kentucky related paranormal stuff. And so a lot of people have been contacting me and telling me all these really cool stories. I have learned so many crazy things about Kentucky that I didn't know. I think we have gnomes, apparently, in the woods. We have a lot of crazy, creepy, haunted hospitals. That's definitely for sure. There's just so many cool, spooky stories out there and spooky places, and I hope to maybe get to go to some of them before the month is over and visit some of these places. And one place in particular that people have brought to my attention recently that I think is really interesting is the Gates to Hell in Elizabethtown. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's like a spooky cemetery out in the middle of nowhere. And I had never heard of it before, but a lot of people have brought it up. And there's also a big theater in Cynthiana, Kentucky, that lots and lots and lots of people keep asking me about if I'm familiar with it or if I know any stories about it. And a lot of these places I'd never heard of. Never heard anybody mention before, so it's kind of neat to hear everybody's experiences. So if if you have any paranormal stories you want to share, definitely email me. My email is always in the description box. It's just ParanormallyCorrect at Hotmail. Send your ghostly pictures or videos, or just tell me your stories, or whatever you want to share with me. I always appreciate that. I always enjoy reading that stuff, and seeing your creepy pictures, which I've seen a lot of lately. A lot of people have been sending me creepy pictures, and it's just super cool to be able to reach a lot of Kentucky folks specifically, because I feel like that's definitely that's my audience. That's who I relate to, and I think that's who relates to me and my content. And so yeah, it's really exciting, and it's really fun to get to talk to everybody and meet new people and hear lots of scary Kentucky stories. Oh, so one other thing, I just wanted to throw this out. If anybody has any questions or anything you want me to talk about in the vlogs, just leave it in the comments. If you got like suggestions or whatever, anything you might want to see me film or talk about, or do whatever, leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll put it in the next vlog. I think that's about it for tonight. We'll see what tomorrow brings. We'll see what I can get into, what I can film, and what kind of adventure I can attempt to take you all on. No promises, but we're gonna give it a try, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys. See you later.